So this week, I wanted to give something that I did a couple weeks ago. I had a poll on one of my previous videos asking what you guys wanted to see, and the number one answer was a storytime video. So here we are. Now, even though I'm pretty young and only 25, I've lived a lot of life. I've had a lot of experiences and a lot of people come in and out of my lives, and I've had a lot of different people say different things to me. So it was kind of hard to dwindle down exactly what kind of story time video I wanted to make and about what, but I figured, you know what, this is a good subject, let's go with it. When I was 18, I moved from Georgia to New Jersey. It's right after I graduated high school and I started college there. I went to Fairleigh Dickinson University in Madison, New Jersey. From there, it was a really great experience. I ended up started working at a company. I'm not going to give them promo, but I will say that if you can think of the biggest coffee company ever, yeah, I worked there for many years in a managerial role and did a bunch of stuff there. So I started working there in New Jersey. So when I decided to leave my first college and go back to Georgia for a little bit, just kind of decided it wasn't for me. I moved back, but now I was looking for a store to move to. It's important to know I wasn't a manager at this point. I was still the entry-level position there, so I was kind of expendable, and I hadn't been with the company for very long, so it was going to be challenging to begin with. But eventually I found a store, and I started working there, and it was near my parents' house, and everything seemed great, or so I thought. Looking back now, there were some telltale signs that a freshly 18 to 19-year-old probably wouldn't pick up on, but now a 25-year-old would, such as no one there really wanted to make conversation with me. No one really wanted to be too close with me, and I didn't know why. I thought that maybe it was just, oh, I'm the new guy. No one really knows me yet, so like we're gonna try to figure this out. And it just, you know, it was an uncomfortable situation, but I thought it was kind of because of me, that, you know, it was just the situation, how it was going to be. So I came into the store, transferred in, but not officially. I was kind of told, hey, you would have to kind of be here for a month, and if you're good enough, we'll keep you around. If not, you might have to keep shopping around for some stores. So it was very strange because I wasn't officially like on the schedule. I was on the schedule as like a ghost, essentially, just like an unknown person that they would just put there, and I was still being paid and everything, but it was just, I wasn't officially in their system. I was still in the system in New Jersey, and the people in New Jersey were like, why is this person not out of our system yet? I thought he transferred to this store in Georgia, and the people in Georgia were like, well, we don't know if we actually want him yet. So it was like a whole thing, and it was a really odd situation. I will say there were a couple people who worked there who were very, very nice and very, very cool, very sweet, and wanted to know more about me. But they were the people who seemed a little bit more liberal. I don't know how they got hired. Maybe they were hired before the person who was managing that store was brought into the position. I don't know. I think when I really started to notice certain things going awry was when one day I came into work and I was told, where were you? And I was really confused about what they meant. What do you mean, where was I? This is when I was scheduled to work. This is what it says on the schedule. Turns out the schedule was released and I had the first 2 days off. And then when I came in for my third day when I was going to have to work, they had changed the hours around and no one told me. And they told me, oh yeah, no one here had your cell phone number, which doesn't make sense because my cell phone number was in the system. And a lot of people seemed very against me in a way, and they were going to write me up for it. And I was like, why are you going to write me up for something that you changed the schedule without telling me? How was I ever supposed to know? And no one told me that the schedule changed. Like, there's no way this is okay or fair. But essentially they gave me a write-up. I signed it, but I wrote underneath under contest or under protest, something like that, just so it was documented right away that I didn't want to sign that, but I agreed that, yeah, I didn't show up at the right time, but it's not why they seem to think it was. It wasn't as black and white. And this is when I started noticing that I was only working with people who, for whatever reason, were very religious. And that's fine. I mean, I don't care. But I was an openly gay male and still am. And it was an uncomfortable situation in the state of Georgia in the South. A lot of people would start to talk to me about the Bible and start to talk to me about, so, what's your life like? And it was like everyone there was trying to break me down in a way. It was very uncomfortable and a very odd situation. And it really, really seemed like I was just not wanted there. I don't know for a fact that I was, being pushed out because I'm gay. Um, but it's really hard not to draw that conclusion. And I would say that this was an experience that taught me a lot more than I really realized. It taught me that not everyone's going to be okay with your sexuality. Not everyone's going to accept you, and that's okay, and they don't have to. And at the end of the day, that's their problem, not yours. So at the end of a month, I was told, hey, we're not going to let you transfer in here officially, which was dumb, and it really, really hurt me because I was written up solely for the fact that then they would have documentation against me so that they could say, hey, he can't transfer here. Whatever. It would have been fine if then the people in New Jersey weren't telling me, hey, after he's been out of our system or out of our store for X amount, like he's just going to be permanently terminated. So I was just struggling to find a store. And this turned into me talking to the district manager. That wasn't my actual district manager near my parents. I wanted to go to a different district because I started to get these feelings that I was like, look, if this is how they're going to treat people in this district, I'm not okay with it. I need to get out. So I ended up talking to the district manager in a different district, and they directed me to a different store that was probably about 45 minutes away from my parents' house. And I was like, well, I guess this has to be it. Like, this sucks, but this is the best I can do. And I am so glad that that happened. I had so many more experiences in my life because that happened. I had so many good experiences. I got brought into a store where people didn't care that I was gay and weren't asking about my personal life. In fact, they were more bummed at the thought that I might be straight. They thought that, I don't know. It was a different circumstance, and it felt so good to feel accepted and to be surrounded by other gay people. And I don't know. It was just so great. I loved working at that store for the short time I did, even though, I always say that I didn't love working for that company and that it was like really hard to deal with, and most days it was, but I think that company taught me a lot of things, and that store in particular taught me a lot of things and made me really happy on some days when I was really sad. So I don't know, it was a great experience overall, and I'm glad that a not so happy experience created an even better one in the end. So here's my question to you. Have you ever felt something like that happening? Like, and obviously it could be something a lot more serious than your sexuality. It could be because of the color of your skin. I mean, I can't speak to that. This is the closest experience I have to that. And if this is even 1/10 of what that feels like, it feels horrible and it feels so frustrating. You become so angry and you become so let down with just not only yourself but also humanity. I don't know, I'm the type of person that if something's wrong, I kind of start to blame myself first, and then I quickly progress to blaming other people. I can't imagine what it's like for someone to live in an area where that happens, and all I can say is I'm sorry, because I know like a very minuscule first person account of what that's like, and that was hard enough for me. And it's helped me keep myself in check moving forward throughout the rest of my life. You know, I know you hear about it all the time on like Tumblr and different news articles and things like that, but like white privilege is a thing, and I didn't realize what it meant to be a cisgender white male until I was, you know, having to defend my own sexual orientation. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I put out new videos every single Saturday. Let me know in the comments down below, what kind of videos do you want to hear about next? Do you want to hear more stories? Do you want to hear some comedy? What do you want? Just give me some ideas. I'm all for them. And also a huge thank you to everyone that's been subscribing from my Invisalign video. And thank you to Invisalign for retweeting my video. That's been awesome. That video now has 22,000, I think, views, which is blowing my mind because that is the most viewed video almost on my channel, besides a channel trailer that I did like a year and a half ago when I did a campaign with it. It's incredible, and thank you. Thank you so much for everyone that has watched it, or any of the Invisalign videos, or any of my videos, and left a comment, left a thumbs up. Even if you left a thumbs down, thank you. I appreciate everything. And you know, there are definitely going to be some weeks like last week where I don't feel like posting a video, and those moments make it worth it, make the effort worth it. I'm not someone who does YouTube full time. I work 40 plus hours a week on top of everything else in my life. So thank you guys for making the effort just to watch me, because it makes it worth it to make this hobby a thing that I can continue to do, and it keeps me motivated. So long story short, thank you. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next week for another brand new video. Hopefully. Later.